One of the main driving force behind development of my game over the past 4 to 5 years has been my ability to accept my faults. Now, during my practice sessions, I've experienced a lot of success where everything that I set out to do goes according to plan. And there are going to be some sessions, or there has been sessions where I get on the table, I have a plan in my mind as to how I want this particular rack to go or this particular practice session to go, and it goes completely haywire. Now, the driving force behind that is that a lot of the times the table is what's providing you with information, not only about the game, but it's providing you information about your game and where you're at the moment. Hey guys, what's up everyone? Welcome or welcome back again to another video tutorial from the Apex Predator Billiards Training Club. My name is Apex Selenio, your aspiring professional pool player and pool instructor straight out of the island of Jamaica. Now I'm going to be walking you through yet again another rack analysis, and of course all the racks that I've done so far on the channel, they're not always going to be successful, but what's most important for me, and I hope that is also important for you, is what can we learn and take into future racks and future matches. Let's jump into this particular video here, and we're going to be starting off with the break, which is perhaps the most important aspect of getting started and getting to the end. Now you can see that was a really nice break shot there. For this one here, didn't really get a solid hit on that one. Cue ball somewhat is in some sort of control. Would have liked it to be a little bit more towards the middle of the table. I'm not using one of those expensive cues or expensive shafts. I have a normal break jump champion cue with a phenolic tip, and I also have a wood shaft, so I'm not in possession of those high quality, high expensive cues that gives you consistent results. So a lot of the times my break is what caused me to fail at a lot of the things that I try to do. Now for this particular break shot here, I wasn't successful in getting a ball down, so it means I'm going to be starting off here with some sort of defensive opportunity. And so you can see here where I'm looking at trying to get control of the object ball, and at the same time I'm looking to cause some sort of separation between the cue ball and the object ball. Now this particular shot that I'm going to attempt is one in which I see that the pros excel at a lot, but for me here in this particular execution, it was a poor execution here. The object ball took the direction that I wanted it to take, but the cue ball completely got loose. The objective was to try to keep the cue ball down to the bottom of the table and get the one ball up towards this top half of the table. I achieved neither of the objective. However, fortuitously, I landed here very lucky where I didn't leave my opponent a shot. So of course, coming back to the table as an imaginary opponent, what do you do in a situation like this? I'm a very conservative type of player, so most times when a player would perhaps say go for a 1-7 combination, for me particularly, I tend to analyze the table 3 or 4 balls ahead, and if I find out that playing an offensive shot that doesn't guarantee me position on my next ball, I'm gonna play safe, like exactly what I did there. So that was a really good safe shot that I played here. Not really completely hooked my opponent, but I've contained my opponent in terms of forcing my opponent to go at a kick shot which potentially could open up the table here for a run. Now here I have a pretty easy kick. You can see that I'm measuring up the exit angle from the rail here using some sort of system that I may have developed. I've not yet made that video as yet, guys, but definitely it's something that I want to share with you guys, this particular kick system here that sometimes it'll work out good. Now I have to do a little bit of a massé here because to get around the 7 to get to that position there, and I completely did not play that shot as well as I could there. Because obviously most of you guys who are watching this would have been watching the professional players and know that with a shot like that, with an execution like that, most likely a really strong opponent that understands the table that they are playing on and understands the whole offensive part of the game will definitely run this rock out here. But it's a tricky rock still. It's not really easy to run out. So here I'm left with a thin cut potentially, or I could play the bank shot here, which I'm going obviously for the one bank, because if I can stop the cue ball there, I can have position there on the 2. Now, nice attempt on the bank there, missed short, as you would have seen in rock number 1, 2, and 3. You'd have seen where I seem to be banking the object ball quite short on this table quite a bit, so it's definitely something to take note of going forward. I would love to try to develop a little bit more intuitive feel with how the bank angle works on this table here. I know that it banks a little short, but sometimes I'm a little bit scared when it comes to applying banking with a little bit of spin. So let's see how that goes on throughout the remaining videos that are coming up. Now, I fortuitously landed safe here where the cue ball, the 1 ball carried the 2 ball up on the rebound and blocked the shot. These things are going to happen either to you or it's going to happen for you. This is what the pros call the roll. They get a good roll. This was a good roll for me here, and now I am left with trying to play a 2-rail kick to try to play safe. Now I'm not sure what my intent was here, because based on the kick it obviously kind of felt like I was trying to play a 3-rail kick to kick the 1 ball back up to this top half of the table, but the angle was not calculated precisely. But I still yet again got quite fortunate in terms of the result of where the cue ball and the object ball has landed. So again, a little bit of luck is in my favor here, and now I'm gonna have to decide to either go for the bank or I'm gonna have to try to go for a safety. Now here you're gonna see me try to execute a type of safety, a 3-rail, 4-rail safety. It was obviously, well, you're gonna see that it was poorly executed, but what's most important for me a lot of the times is not always, especially in my practice session, it is not always the end result, but it's the actual intent of what I was trying to do. Now you would have seen, and here's a replay of a previous video where I executed this beautiful 5-rail safety, and here you see that attempt was well executed. Unfortunately for this one here, I definitely sold out completely. It's a very difficult shot to play, and you have to judge the rebound angles coming off the rails, especially when the cue ball is coming off alternate rails. It tends to kill the natural angle of where the cue ball wants to head. So like I said, in that previous attempt it was successful. In this one, not so successful, but down and out already on the 1, and again just a little bit, just a tad too fast with the way my decision is making here. I definitely blew that one right out of the bag. So that's not something, that's a very inexcusable scratch there. That's something that's like what we call a carnal sinning pool. If you're playing with a player of my level or even higher, best believe you will, or most likely will, be punished for scratching. Scratching is like the worst sin that you can commit when it comes to pool. Nevertheless, thankfully this is a practice session and we're just taking notes on different things that we need to do when we get opportunities like these. Now here I'm lining up for a draw shot, and you already seen where I went right around there to try to see the zone that I want to fall in, and so this beautiful draw shot here right exactly into the zone that I had indicated. So +1 point there for the decision that I made and the end result of that decision. Then Now I'm down here on the 3, and it's a little bit tricky to get on the 4 because the cue ball seems to be heading in towards the 6. So I'm gonna have to negotiate a good contact on the 6, and I didn't really get the best result. You can see that grimace on my face there. Catch the 6 a little thin and carry it way beyond where I wanted it. Now I'm in a very, very tricky position here on the 4 because once again that 6 ball seems to be playing a major role in this out that I'm trying to construct. A lot of the times, guys, you're not gonna get all the Cosmo rocks to run out. You're gonna have to come with the shots at times, and you're gonna have to do a little bit of a gamble with your position place. Not everything is gonna go according to plan. Now here I'm trying to back up this 4 past the 9, and because of the thinness of this cut, I may cram into the 6, and that could destroy my positional route, which obviously you can see that's exactly what happened there on that shot. So now I've pretty much ended my clear opportunity at a run here because of that carom twice into the 6. I now ended up a little bit tricky. Now here, the only thing I can do here is try to cover the 5 ball. So I can try to carry the cue ball behind the 7 like what I intended there. Now that was a two-way shot because obviously I could have tried with a little bit more speed to cover both the 5 and the 6, but I didn't want to try to get a little bit too cute to cover both object and cue ball. So there you can learn one very important thing, that sometimes playing a hook or a containing safety, you don't necessarily have to cover both balls. You can hide the object ball or you can hide the cue ball, and if you are able to hide both, then that's even an extra point for you there. So that was a pretty good containing shot. This is gonna now force my opponent now to try to kick and potentially open up the game for a run. So let's see what comes out here. Try to kick, made good contact obviously on the 5, but it was a complete sellout. So this would have been the second sellout. Now this rock is not going according to plan, and like I said in the introduction of this video, there are going to be some rocks that you're going to play your best and some rocks that you're not going to play your best. Now this is a problem shot for me, believe it or not, whether it's on a 9-foot table or 8-foot table, because a lot of the times I find myself undercutting this shot there. That was a lot of speed on that shot, trying to go 2 reels back over. I landed, I guess it's safe to say that I landed perfectly on the 6 to get back onto the 7, but obviously once you miss the shot, then the cue ball's position is not exactly where it would have been had the shot been made. So poorly executed shot there. That's something that I definitely need to go on the table and practice. As easy as that shot may be, you can undercut it at times. Now here, get a perfect opportunity here for a run. Pocket the 5 ball past the 8. Landed a little bit steep on this 6. I'm gonna have to come with a little cheeky shot here, because you can see that I'm already visualizing the path that the cue ball is going to take. So I know already I'm going to pocket the 6 and try to come off 2 reels in between the 7 and the 8 for that wide zone there would land me perfectly. So just a little bit of a high left here, coming off 2 reels and coming exactly into that part that I predicted, and with the right speed I can land perfectly here on the 7 here. And so it should be a pretty good out from here. Nothing too tough, just coming back out to the middle of the table with a little bit of high right, controlling the speed, and once you're in close proximity to your object ball, 8-foot or 9-foot table, this should be an easy out here. So I do hope, guys, that you actually learned something from this. I learned something from watching myself here in practice. And obviously, as I said, guys, when you're watching these rocks, the most important thing is to learn from your own mistakes and just try to do everything right. Whatever you get wrong the first time, you go back into the next rock and try to do it even better. All right. So hopefully you guys enjoy this particular rock. I'll see you in the next one, and let's continue practicing with consistency, precision, accuracy, and control. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.